trading futures and crypto and stocks and everything else is one thing, but can we treat Upland like a faux market? How can we structure a plan of attack so that we can trade Upland? Hey there, John and Ray here, ssftg. Welcome to the video. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome my friend. I hope to earn your like and subscription today. I trade in the futures markets basically every day with the rest of the ssftg crew and VIP members over in our live trade room. It's something that's in my blood. I've been trading for over a decade now, so the first question that jumps to my mind is, can we trade Upland? Is it something that we can do? What would that even look like? Like, you know, how would that be a possibility? So let's do a bit of a thought experiment and see if this is something we can actually make happen. So first off, if you aren't familiar with the markets, you'll need a quick crash course. Buy low, sell high. Done. Okay, moving on, right? Now, of course, I'm being facetious, but really it is kind of that simple at its core. We're looking to buy on the dip and sell when it rips. It's the core of things without all the technicals and all the confusing bits. So without using a chart, without moving averages, without statistics of really any kind, how can we trade Upland still? Well, you may have seen some of them come across your YouTube feed, but every weekend I post a video that goes over the pricing of each city location, and it goes over the floor pricing. And the floor pricing is effectively the lowest price in that area in both US dollars and UPX, the in-game currency. And this is kind of basically our chart, so to speak. It could be also considered like our level 2 or our dome. So to trade it, all we need to do is, surprise, surprise, buy low and sell high. There's more to it than that, of course, so we should probably create some rules and a little bit of a strategy. Now, of course, you're not going to be able to do any of this if you aren't in Upland yet, so make sure to go and check out discover.upland.me/ssftg to get registered with 6,000 UPX and a 50% first UPX purchase bonus waiting for you with a bonus cap of 50,000 UPX. More info on the last link or at ssftg.com/upland. First off, we need to ensure active liquidity. Big part of that is active liquidity. This means that we need to be in a market that there are a lot of participants in, and we need to make sure that we can enter and exit with some pretty relative ease. We don't have to sit there for ages to try to get our order filled, right? Our property sold. That's what I'm talking about as far as liquidity goes. And this is going to be a moving target for Upland, because really every time a new city comes out, that's going to be the new liquidity pool. Everybody always flocks over to the new city. Why wouldn't they? Now, cars may change that, but, well, we only know what we know so far. So, well, until the cars launch, we'll just have to go with cities for now, and that's going to be a big thing that's going to be a moving target. Next up is going to be the risk. Now, we can most certainly create loss limit scenarios. They don't have stops in Upland, right? Like, I can't place a stop like I can in the markets if it dips too far and I just want to exit. But, in example, if I bought a Manhattan property months ago and the floor was, 190,000 UPX, the current floor in Manhattan is around 135,000. That would be a loss of almost 30%, 28.9%. For some, that's a huge deal. For others, that's not that big of a deal. And for others, it's completely catastrophic. So you need to find your risk, right? Find your risk tolerances and then go from there. Once you have your risk tolerances reached, when the market dips down and it's hit your stop limit, so to speak, then you list the property below the current floor, take the loss, and move on. Cost valuation is going to be the third thing on the list, and this does tie into risk a little bit as well. But we can look at properties as kind of shares, so to speak, in keeping it consistent. If we're trading in Detroit, where the UPX floor is, right around 4,500 or so, give or take, we can equate that to a stock price valued at around $4.50. In that mindset, you can see how many shares that you can purchase. Now, similarly, if we were to look at someplace like Manhattan, again, keeping the consistency going here, Manhattan, well, putting that in US dollars, that would be like $135 a share. It's a much more expensive stock. It's going to have to be, a little bit more adjusted in terms of my risk tolerances. We have to adjust our size, our share size accordingly. Finally is going to be the entry criteria. Now, we can make this incredibly complicated. We can make it incredibly simplistic. For the sake of YouTube and for the sake of sanity, let's keep it simple. And let's just say that anytime the floor price decreases by more than 20%, we're looking to start purchasing. This allows for 10% on both sides because the fees are 5% to buy, 5% to sell. That's covered at 20%, and we pocket the other 10% in returns, even if it just goes to the previous price that it was, right? If it declines by 20% over the course of the week and then just goes back up again, it might not necessarily be exactly a 20% increase. That's not how probabilities and math works. But even if we were to compensate the difference of a 10% decline and then pocket another 7 to 10% on top of that, that's a pretty good ROI over the course of a week. So as you can see, I mean, the workings and the fascia is a little bit different, right? But the operation, basically the same. We can definitely treat Upland like a faux market, so to speak, and we can kind of trade it in that way. In fact, given the growth of NFTs and the metaverse and the massive influx of new players and users in the Upland side of things, just by that side, it also kind of has a natural intrinsic growth in value coming along behind it, with its ever-growing popularity seemingly like every day. I personally think this is a really interesting approach to Upland, and it offers a nice transition between something that I already know very well and something that is a bit newer and arguably still growing every single day. Of course, if you have any questions, thoughts, topics for new videos, an epic street view, or anything else, drop them in the comments below. You know I always love hearing from you guys. Until the next one, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the metaverse. Bye.